As we begin, I'd like to take a brief step back to our teaching, which views us as beings that yield certain harvests. One, for example, obvious harvest or yield of this machine is physical impulses and movements. In other words, my machine can produce movement, obviously. It's one of its yields, one of the things it can do. Another separate harvest of this machine, and all of you attending today, is thoughts. We can think, we can conceptualize, we can envision, we can imagine. This is a separate harvest, a separate yield that our vessels are capable of. A third, again, separate yield is the yield of emotions. Our machines produce emotions, a wide range of emotions, of course. And we study each of these harvests and their relationships to each other and the different nuances within them. I'd like you to look at this lady and separate from any knowledge of who she might be, who the painter may be. Share with us, what emotions do you feel you see in her? Because after all, a painter who would portray a woman like this would aim at a certain emotional expression. She's not bursting out in laughter, she's not bursting out crying, which would be two extreme emotions, but she is displaying a certain emotional state. And I'd like to ask, what do you feel you see? What emotions do you see? Let's take peace, humility, and let's take compassion. Those are three emotions. Back to the harvests we mentioned earlier. They stand in different relationship to our will. If we take, for example, physical movement, then that harvest or that function is directly under my will, in the simple sense that I can will my hand to move up and it moves up, and then I will it to come back down and it obeys my will. In a different way, thoughts are also under our will. For example, I'd like to ask each of you to envision in your mind the campus or building that you went to high school in. Some of you, high school is a long way back in the past, but still, you commanded your intellectual center to think of it, and it did it, just like I commanded my hand to move up or down, and it obeyed. Why am I sharing this? Because the third harvest of emotions does not obey my will in the same way. If we go back to our painting of the lady and the emotions of compassion, humility, and peace, then if I ask you to feel compassion right now, Evgeny, Kelly, if I ask you to feel humility, Mirto, if I ask you to feel peace, it's not that clear how you do that, right? It's definitely not as direct as lifting your hand or thinking of where you went to high school. I'd like to take this characteristic of the emotional center and study it because it emphasizes the exercise that our communities worked with in the past week, which is the looking exercise.